So let's understand the fourth hurdle, why some children have difficulty sounding out words using phonics. These are difficulties by spelling words by sound, like accommodation or hippopotamus. They just get very confused. They only seem to be able to get one or two or three of the sounds, but not all of them. So it's not that they're deaf. It's nothing to do with concentration. It's nothing to do with IQ. Phonics just seems to be a mystery, and they will not overcome that. So let's understand why. I want you to read the following paragraph with me. I couldn't believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. The phenomenal power of the human mind, according to research at Cambridge University. It doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. Now I'm going to let you read the last bit on yourself. And the last sentence, yeah, and I always thought phonetics were essential. They're not. But let's understand the problem. First of all, fluent reading is primarily visual. It's not phonetic. People do not read phonetically. It is primarily visual, as we understand later when we do the video on reading. So let's have a look at phonetic processing difficulties. All children can be learned to do small words like bad, sad, lad, dad, and mad. And if we do enough work at this, if we spend enough time at it, children will be able to do three-letter words. But when it comes to bigger words, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. They will always struggle at words like accommodation. They'll always make mistakes at that. And no matter how many extra classes they go to, or what specialist teacher they go to, or what course they go to during their holidays, they will never overcome this problem. And let you understand why. First of all, imagine here on the left-hand side, we've got a power station making electricity. On the right-hand side, we've got a home. So the electricity has to get from the power station to the home, and it does this by a wire. And imagine that that wire can, say, hold 9 units of electricity. So now the home can use as much electricity as it wants, the power station can produce as much as it wants, and everyone's happy. In the same way, the human ear is the same. Sound goes into the human ear and is made into an electrical impulse in the brain. And it travels to the part of the brain called the auditory cortex along a wire in much the same way as the power station to the house, and that wire is called the auditory neuron bundle. And for most people, that wire can hold 7 to 9 units. We can spell words quite easy with 7 to 9 units, like, elephant and things like that, quite easily. But if we come to a big word like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, we have to break it into different small packages. So we do super, cali, fragile, istic, expi, ali, docious, because we know we couldn't do all those sounds at once, because it's beyond what our physical brain can hold. That's 7 to 9 phonic sounds. So let's go back to the power station. And what's happened in the power station on the house this time is a storm has come along and the wire has been fallen down. So the electricity company comes along and puts in a temporary wire. Now, unfortunately, the temporary wire can only hold 3 units of electricity. So for a small limited time, you can only use 3 units of electricity. No matter how much electricity the power station makes or how much electricity you want to use, the amount used can be defined only by the wire holding 3 units. And in the same way, most people can hold 7 to 9 units in their auditory neuron bundle, the wire going from the ear to the auditory cortex, but some people can only hold 3 units. And they will be able to spell words like mad, lad, sad, bad, and dad, but they won't be able to do bigger words like accommodation. It's a physical cause. A physical cause that they can only be able to do 3 words at a time, or perhaps 4. So let's look at this picture, and with your finger I want you to trace out the red dots. And as you trace out that red dots, you find out you've written the number 2. And you can do that as long as you're not colourblind between the colour green and red. But if you are colourblind between the number green and red, then how much extra time would it take to overcome this problem? How many extra classes given to teach that? How many extra courses? How many courses done during the summer holidays would you be able to do it? It wouldn't matter how many courses you do because it's a physical cause and you are not overcoming colour blindness because colour blindness has a physical cause. And in the same way, a phonetic deficit has a physical cause. If that auditory neuron bundle will only transmit 3 sounds, no matter how many courses you go to, what specialist teachers you go to, what summer course you do, you are never going to overcome the problem. So remember, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting to get different results. So said a very clever man called Albert Einstein. So remember, don't drive the child mad by doing all the different sounding words, the different sound. It's not going to happen.